do you think the World Economic Forum is reacting to Trump? Because on the one hand,
they're all excited to have him here. Obviously, he'll be the star of the show.
are they going to push back on Greenland?
Who's they? Europe?
Well, NATO. I mean, they sent one troop from the UK. That's terrifying.
So, as Secretary Bessent said just this morning in an open press avail, no one wants a confrontation here, but I wonder why the same people getting upset that the U.S. has an interest in buying Greenland fairly and squarely aren't upset that China and Russia are already there.
You know, they want American money for Ukraine, but they don't want America to call the shots in Greenland. I don't know, maybe you have to be European to understand how to reconcile that.
Well, it's well said. And the other thing is we love our European allies. The fact is they're still buying Russian oil nearly 4 years after the invasion of Ukraine. So as of last year, we were in for $350 billion. Europe was in for about $100 billion. Last time I looked at a map, Ukraine is in Europe. So obviously many people mispredicted last year at WEF and then the Munich Security Conference that President Trump was going to, quote, abandon Ukraine. It has not gone that way at all. He's been highly engaged. He's trying to bring a peace there. He's got his peace board signing an event in 2 days here.
Oh, good.
And so that's exciting. Obviously the president will be talking about Greenland as well because it is strategic for its minerals. We have defense interests there, and as the Arctic continues to melt, there's more passageways, there's infrastructure concerns, and the president wants to make sure that part of his legacy is bucking up the Western Hemisphere and keeping, as you saw in Venezuela, and keeping China out.
We're from Canada, and some Canadians have been worried about what the Greenland approach to our country. What would you have to say to ordinary Canadians? Should they be worried? What should they be doing?
Well, Canada is a great ally of the U.S., and President Trump is highly engaged with Carney.
Think about his trip to China. He just went to China.
He just went to China. I know but Secretary Bessent said just this morning in a forum I attended that great, let Canada trade with China. That's great. But the fact is that we're all allies, and I think that there's always going to be people are always going to complain about President Trump because he has totally upended the elites and the establishment order, and people like to strike back against that.
Last question. You've been very generous with me. Thank you for this. The World Economic Forum is globalist. There's lots of big socialists involved here. It's very un-Trumpy. Do you think he's going to sort of fire a few thunderbolts at the folks here? What do you expect from his speech?
Could you get a little of this? So he's going to throw a couple of thunderbolts. I think he's going to challenge the globalist elite order. And remember, if you're President Trump, and 2 years ago people were promising, if not hoping, you'd never again be in the White House. In fact, you'd be in the big house. You get to swagger into Davos, and you get to talk about all the great direct foreign investment that he's attracted, $18 trillion and counting in his first year. He's going to talk about making housing more affordable and accessible to Americans. He's going to talk about obviously economic security, national security, him trying to get more trade deals, more peace deals. He will talk about China, he will talk about Ukraine, he will talk about Iran and Israel, but he's also going to talk about cooperation. And yes, he has Greenland very much on his mind, and it shouldn't surprise anyone because China's already there. And look what China did in Latin America. They basically promised all kinds of money and infrastructure and other goodies to some of these countries if they would just not deal with Taiwan. So, and then that just all disappears when Maduro is extracted.
Right.
So,
thank you for this. Nice to talk.
If I were the Cubans, I'd feel good too, because the Cuban people. Because remember what President Trump did? He signed an executive order just a few short days after Maduro was taken out of Venezuela, that there'll be a fund for the oil profits for the Venezuelan people. And that's important too. So.
Thanks very much. Vezo Sobat says hello from Canada.
God bless Canada.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, guys. Thanks. That's one of Donald Trump's senior aides, Kellyanne Conway. Very powerful American strategist, pollster, communicator. Just bumped into her by chance. I'm very sympathetic to Donald Trump. I also love Canada. Sometimes those positions are in conflict, but I thought she did a great job of squaring the circle. Very interesting remarks about Trump's geopolitics. talking about Venezuela, and Cuba could be next. It'll be interesting to see how the speech goes. We're here at Davos for the World Economic Forum annual conference. If you like our work, go to wefreports.com. You can see all our videos and chip into our crowdfunding to get here. Thanks.